Honestly been a hot minute since we have come to even chat and hang. I mean, we've both been so busy.
Been crazy
life.
Yeah.
But we are here now and we're so excited just to share what's been going on and what's been on our heart with everybody.
Yes.
But yeah, no, it's been a crazy year this year, hasn't it?
It certainly has. 2024 has been eventful. But you know what? Lots of exciting things through 2024.
Yeah.
Challenging things. Expanding capacities, expanding lots of expansion, I reckon. And like, in all fairness, that was a choice.
Yeah.
Because the expansion could have been a different choice. Instead of expanding, that could have been a pity party. It could have been lots of different other.
Yeah, definitely. Stepping away from things that are actually there to help us grow and help stretch us, I guess.
Yeah.
Into that next season of life.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's crazy. So we are so excited to be back together.
Yes, and definitely, felt called to be back. And, communicate with you guys. And I don't know, now I've just gone blank, but that's okay.
That's all good. I think as Tans and I had a chat about what we were going to speak about today in the potty, it was just really about, we spoke about it before, but connection, right?
Yeah.
So I guess one thing that we wanted to chat about today was connection, and then also disconnection, which is something that we all experience in life, and we just wanted to unpack that a little bit. So I had a few questions here to ask my girl. But yeah, I guess, so obviously if you haven't really caught on, the topic is connection, disconnection. And I just thought I would ask a few questions of Tans, because this is an interesting one. Going through this whole year has been such a process with Tans and I both connecting and being disconnected in some form, some way. We've sort of gone on a journey being friends of like what that actually looks like. And it's not perfect all the time, guys. Like, you're never gonna get it right, and that's okay. So I think that's something we need to be mindful of, that we're all journeying what that can look like, and mistakes are to be made.
100%.
So,
And it's not a mistake, it's just a learning, right? Like,
sorry, let me rephrase that word. Not mistake, but you live and you learn, and we're just trying to figure out what works best for us. I guess what helps us thrive and flourish. So we definitely learn from options that don't work for us. So it's the only way to find out, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Alrighty, so let's get into these questions.
Sure.
So being away, so long story short, Tan's been back and forth. There's a bit more to unpack about that, but so she's been in and out of town pretty much. Being away, how's that been? Wait, what did we write here?
How has that impacted, like, in relation to connection? Being away.
How has being away impacted you connecting? Yeah.
And how I just So, wow. What I noticed, I think, in the beginning, there was like, I definitely made the effort to connect, to communicate, I suppose. Not only with you, but with others. That was going on the journey with.
Did you have any, like, was there anything that you were, wow, I went blank too. Was there anything that you thought you were going to struggle with in terms of, like, connection?
I didn't even think about it, to be honest. I didn't think it kind of didn't cross my mind. Until going through it. Right? And then as the year went on, I feel like the connection / disconnection got progressively further apart. As in, there was more disconnection than connection. I initiated a lot of the connection, probably, which is, and I think even though it was challenging in the beginning, it was still easy to connect, whereas it went on and got full on.
I also feel like you also just have that personality where you're so open to initiate connection.
I was going to say, I'm usually the connector. So I'm usually the one that will reach out, so the fact that I pull back, like I mean, there was a few different reasons I did that. One I was just, like, there was a lot going on.
Yeah.
It was just like, but I think the last, actually, what are we, October? September was when I realised how much I lacked connection this year. In the forms that I'm used to.
Yeah.
Even though, I felt that we actually did pretty good.
Considering.
Yeah. But there was probably a portion where I dropped off. And, we were both going through some stuff, and so it was like, we'll just leave them be.
I think that's the importance of friendships, right? Is like giving them space. Like, we all go through things, and to be able to allow your friends to like take time to process is really important.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have taken offense to that, or may even approach it as like the situation as oh, but what do I need? But I think it's in a friendship, there's that practice of like being mindful that, you're connecting with someone else, so we're also there for them as well. So no, I think in terms of like us connecting, we didn't connect as much as we wanted to, but it was still enough for us because we gave each other space, because we didn't know what the traveling looked like for you. You may probably have needed more space, or you probably needed more connection. So I guess we were more mindful as to like, you would have spoken up if, you needed more connection, or...
Yeah, we were navigating
navigating it together. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So what do you reckon some challenges were that you faced when you were disconnected? Do you feel like you were impacted in somewhat way?
Yeah, I actually do, because the importance of connection and connecting can be empowering or disempowering, depending on who you hang around, and like who you associate with, and what you feed yourself with. And I wasn't around my usual people. I wasn't doing the
you went in your comfort zone.
Yeah, like we have certain we have discipleship group I go to during the week. There's we connect at church. There's other connections that we have, like, in person. And yes, we do it over voice, but it was different.
It's definitely different, like, connecting physically in person than it is like over a voice message. It's still important whether it's physical or not, like over the phone. I guess that's also reassurance to know that even though I'm not physically with you, I'm still there for you.
Yeah.
I can still be there for you.
Yeah.
In this way.
Yeah.
It just looks different.
Yeah. I think for me it was like, whilst it lacked in one, like this, I mean, I can have connection over the phone, really. I can have connection over the voice. There was just something different about it, especially the last couple of months. But if I look at it as a whole, it was still there. The saving grace, actually, the actual saving grace for me was in the toughest part of, I would say 2024 is 2023 and 24 have been one of the toughest years. There was another one or two tough times, but this is another, this was another level. And what I found interesting was in that time was when I actually stepped out and went, you know what, no matter what, like, I actually said yes to me, right?
That's so important.
And I said yes to me, and I took on a couple of new coaches. Like, I took on a new coach. I took on a couple of new training. I don't even know. Like it evolved.
So are you saying that the disconnection from your comfort zone had allowed you to stretch and to stretch your capacity in taking on new things?
Yes, but no. I was hoping that it would all be like, I was hoping I'd still have the connection with my people.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, yes, I did. But I also took on another, other tasks which really expanded my capacity. But it connected me with people. Here's where it's good. It connected me with people that kept my mindset on track.
Okay, yeah. Which is important with like your circle, right? With who you actually choose to do life with,
Like, so from a connection point of view, yes, I was, I still have my church family and I was slightly getting connection there, whether it be online, whether it be through the town I was in, but it was definitely less.
Yeah.
But every day of the week, well, it felt like every day of the week, I was connecting with other people that were empowering, that were, helping me like be mindful of my mindset and give me something else to, I suppose, focus on.
And I guess helped
to
you
move forward.
Face the challenges, right?
Correct. That's where I was going. Yeah. So I suppose what I'm saying with that, if I didn't have that, it could have been way worse.
And I think it comes back down to the accountability. Like, what do we choose when we're being pressed, when we're being challenged in those situations? Like, it's the seeds that you sow or what you produce, right? So that's so good. Like, I guess overall, despite of the challenges that you face, this year's really helped you, I guess.
It's been like, even through the stuff.
Let's dig deeper, girl. Let's go.
Even through this stuff, there's been so many blessings. There's been so much growth. There's been so much, like, I'm actually gobsmacked because the person who I was in January,
She gone.
She gone. Yeah.
She left the country.
Yeah, man. She's a boat. Yeah. Like,
she in Bahamas now, sipping on them mocktails.
The mocktails, yeah. Like that evolution, and that wouldn't have happened if I hadn't have got out of my comfort zone. If I hadn't.
So name 2 main struggles that you really went through the thick of that actually you had now overcome and come out the other end going, damn, like,
in regarding to connection or in regarding to connection, really acknowledging the importance of it. So
did you say you took it for granted before?
Probably. Probably didn't realize how much connection I had.
Yeah.
So yes, took it for granted. Because when I went away in September, and I just, for starters, just got to stop, like, and just, okay, breathe. And connected with, a very close and best friend away, and we got time to then, and it felt like home, right? Like it felt like just like this now, where you just talk, you can just be, you can, and it filled that tank, and I was like,
yeah, wow.
It wasn't until I I was driving to the next location, the next holiday point, where I was like, oh wow, that's where the connection, it was like, oh my goodness, I've really lacked connection from a let's talk about things deep, or let's talk, because there hasn't been a good opportunity to have deep conversations, and I'm about deep and quality conversations.
We is all about going deeper. We ain't no surface level people, y'all.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Everything happens the more deeper you dig.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does that even make sense?
It does to me.
Okay, well then,
But,
that makes
you know,
sense.
But hey, yeah. So I
That's good.
yeah. I realized how much I lacked. So then I was just like, okay, all right, what changed? And what changed was me. Well,
Yeah.
Number one, there was a point where I literally pulled back.
Yeah.
I pull back.
And
I
we
stop.
do.
Yeah.
We will. And
Yeah.
we will continue to pull back every
Yeah.
now and then. That is normal.
Yeah, like I pull back and I also kind of crack the shits if you want to, if I want to be real. Like,
Yeah.
like I kind of had a moment where I kind of had a little tanty, and was like, okay, no, bugger it. Like I'm not.
You can have a tanny.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Well, that's normal. It's a fact of
Tanny was
life.
having a tanny. Yeah.
I was. Yeah. So I pull back, and when I realized, like, oh my god, how much I actually crave connection. And look, connection, love and connection is a core need. There's 6 core needs that we need, and that is one of them. And for me, that is clearly a thing.
I think everyone honestly craves connection, whether we want to admit it or not. We were built for connection.
Yeah, we were.
And I guess, you know, obviously we've all been through stuff, so that's kind of what's made us sort of step back a bit.
Oh my god, I just had
which is definitely why a lot of people like stay on the surface. And that's understandable because they've been hurt before. And both Tens and I have journeyed that and have experienced that to some extent. So
it's natural. It's in our DNA to actually disconnect as well. Like it's when there's a challenge,
way to
when
disconnect,
there is,
isn't it?
well, that is true. Yeah, there's a healthy disconnection, and then there's a negative connotation to, or negative whatever to disconnection, where disconnection we're doing it for an unhealthy reason. Where we actually should be connecting in more. Yeah. Right. And probably, excuse me, I think.
I was like, oh, she must have burped. I'll burp too. This is a safe zone, y'all.
This is a safe space. Yeah. So, where was I going with that?
I
don't know. Oh, like I was talking about, like how because you can disconnect for the right reasons. You might need to put up boundaries. You might need to.
Yes, and that is okay, guys.
Boundaries are very important.
Very important.
You might need to like just pull back for a bit to actually process some stuff, so that you handle it well.
Well,
okay.
Yes.
But then there's a disconnection where we pull back, and
I think we've got to ask ourselves, why are we disconnecting and why are we connecting? Like the reasoning behind that matters as well, because you could be connecting, but if your heart's not in the right place, that could get all jammed up. Like there'd be so much confusion and there could be breakdowns of some sort. But I think it's like we live and we learn. So obviously if you do go in with not the right intention, I think hold yourself accountable for that. Because then you know for the next time when you connect or disconnect, you're like using it, what's the word? You're kind of being more mindful of when you do that.
I was going to say,
why you do that.
Yeah, 100%. Like actually be aware of, okay, how do I feel when I'm connecting in with the right people?
Yes.
What am I like? What?
Because we can connect, but it could be with the wrong
exactly.
crowd. Yeah.
Like, what am I gaining from it? What am I chasing?
Ooh,
and then when I disconnect,
that.
what's happening? What am I? What's doing? And you know what? It's still sitting with me, so I'm going to share it. When it comes to disconnection, in the Bible, Adam and Eve, when she had there was connection. There was like love. There was right.
There was perfection.
There was perfection.
Everything was beautiful.
Yeah, so beautiful.
I love that.
But then, Eve, they ate the apple, right? All wrong. When God came in, they hid. They disconnected. They were shamed. So that when I say that we disconnect for many reasons, because we're shamed, because whatever. And I think we have to be very mindful as to why we're doing it. Back to what you kind of said. Oh my God. Back to what you kind of said before, being mindful of why we're connecting, why we're not connecting.
Yeah.
And are we doing it for the right reasons? But yeah.
Sorry.
You go.
Self-reflection is important.
100%.
Because we need to know why we're doing what we're doing. So I used to come from a place of just doing and not realizing that I actually needed to have an awareness or self-reflection as to why I was doing that. Because then I realized why things were spiraling. Because I was able to be honest with myself.
Yeah.
And actually go, hang on, wait a minute. You know, I wanted connection, but what was my reasoning behind that, or what was my expectation? So I think when it comes to connecting and disconnecting, and that's why it's so important to have a good circle of people around you that love you and that are honest with you, that keep you accountable.
100%.
And that you trust.
I was going to say.
You're not just going to have anyone around your circle that's going to put you in your place. Like, we all know that.
Yeah, they have to earn that right.
Yeah,
like
so that takes time to build that. Yeah.
I would agree with that too. Like, and being mindful of that.
But do you remember that time I said to you, I think we had maybe been friends for like a year and a bit, and I was finally to that point where I was like, I had a conversation with Tans. I said, Tans, I was like, you know, I trust you and I respect you as a person, and I know you respect me as a person. And I said, if you need to pull me up about
I do remember that.
anything, I give you permission to do so. And that was when Tans was like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah, giddy up, yee-haw. Let's go. And from then on, it was like, okay. And that was when I realized, like, our friendship went to a deeper level, because I was able to, and even if you have to verbally say it, I think that's important, because then Tans knows
I was going to say,
where I'm at.
I knew exactly.
And she knows that she doesn't have to tiptoe around certain things. If I need to be held accountable for something, she can be like, okay, well, you know, let's unpack that. And there's just a beautiful approach that Tans has, that when we have conversation, you know, it's always opening my mind to different options, or, you know, and I think that's so important when you have conversation with someone. You're like, hey, I'm having an issue with this, like, this is what I'm seeing. And then, you know, Tans will come around and open my mind to be like, what about this? What about this? And then it's like, wow, like, we can be so caught in this tunnel vision way of thinking that, you know, when we have those people of trust in our circle, they can actually expand our capacity to think outside of the box, which is so important to have. If you have a friend like that, then you was blessed, because that's very rare to have. Yeah,
I would agree.
Yeah.
And you know, like, I hope this sparks you to think about, you know, where are you at with connections? Who have you got in your life that is encouraging you, that is supporting you, that is lifting you, that you can actually, there's a safe space and a genuine
a genuine connection, like trust and
and I know we can and you know, I'll just speak about that. You can kind of have that with the wrong crowd as well, but I suppose you look at what's being produced,
like where you want to be.
Yeah, like what is being produced from that? Like, is a good things coming from that?
Yeah.
Like, is a good and healthy things coming from that? Or again, it's about digging deeper and asking yourself that self-reflection of you know, is this the right crowd for me? Or, you know, do I need to find
self-reflection?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do I need to find that friend that I can actually bear all to? And again, that takes time. You've got to be, you know, that doesn't just happen overnight.
And it doesn't need to be like 10 people.
No.
Like, if you have
about that.
one core person, that can build.
Yeah.
So if you've never, like myself, haven't had like friendships to a point where it was like on a deeper level, I feel like I've actually had to journey, what do friendships look like for me? because, you know, I journeyed that with Tans. I'm still journeying that now of like who I allow in my circle, who I do life with on a daily, and not even on a daily because life's so busy. Realistically, we're not all hanging out every day. And I think that's why phones are cool, because we can obviously send a quick message thinking about, I hope you had a great day. And those messages matter to people.
Yeah, that's right.
So, but like even if you start with one person, like there is no pressure to have so many, because realistically, how are you supposed to give 110% to like 10 friends? Like, that's really unrealistic.
Well, not in the beginning anyway. I don't think you can really.
And like we're all on different levels anyway with friendships, so that's just another thing.
Yeah, and I just want to also reiterate, I think that's something that you can often reflect on, like and often reflect, okay, who's feeding into my life? Who am I feeding into, like from a positive and, you know, but who is also draining from me? Who is sucking the life out of me?
Who do I need to put boundaries in?
Correct, because I think sometimes that gets missed because it's too hard and you don't want to acknowledge it, but you're actually doing yourself a detriment.
And I honestly feel like creating like connection is honestly one of the most hardest things in life to do, because of all, like, because we're not perfect and it does take a lot to forgive people. We all know that it's not easy to forgive one another, but also realize that we're all flawed. So that plays a role in trying to connect. I
think the other thing I just want to quickly share before we probably should wrap it up today is the fact that, you know, we're about deep conversation and getting deeper in chat, but it doesn't, like, even when we first, like, sometimes that takes us a few minutes. Sometimes you can get there like that. But
like Tans will be like, "How you going?" I'll be like, blah, 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 blah. And I haven't even said like, "Oh yeah, no, you know, how are you going?" It's like, "Oh no, my life is falling apart."
But like there are times where you can dance around too, and it's like you need to warm up again, right? Oh.
That can be me. I feel like when we've disconnected for so long. What a way to say it! What a way to be like, let me just try and hit that you're a bit disconnected sometimes. So there is a way.
So am I.
But like as Tan said, when you're disconnected for so long, sometimes it does take time to get into 100%. The nitty-gritty stuff, because it's been a while since we've connected. So I think we love that we have grace, you know, towards each other, and understanding to know, you know, Tans will know. Like once I dance around, she'll just ask more questions, and that's when I know, okay, she wants to really know.
And I think that's the other thing I know, just quickly. Another thing that I've noticed, again, from while we're away, that's when we tend to dance. Like, and we both do it, don't get me wrong. But it's just like, oh, how you going?
Yeah.
You good? Blah, blah, blah. And so then it's like, okay.
But I also feel like, I give you on? Like...
100% space. I know what you
mean. The 80% of like the truth.
But
then obviously under that, this is happening. This is happening, but this is my overall heart. It's been a good week. Because I've chosen to not be focusing on the circumstances.
Correct.
But to literally focus on still moving forward. And that looks different for everyone. Like, even if I've taken one step forward or half a step, that's still moving. So
that's exactly right. No, that's awesome.
So I think this is how we're going to unpack things. It's like, ask you the questions, but it's really to me. What's about it? It's a way of life coaching. It's a life coaching skill, guys. So good.
It's great. So I hope you've enjoyed our chats today. And again, if you feel like there's any topic you want us to discuss, please feel free to
or if we want to elaborate more on connection. I mean, there are so many different
that's true.
Other situations that we can chat about in terms of connecting. Whether it be family, like if you want to go into family, relationships, friendships, all of that is different because they're different connections with certain people that are in your circle. Cool.
Well, have an awesome day, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time, guys. Bye.